It's fall, so today we are making a delicious caramel apple milkshake. My name is Alyena and welcome to my kitchen. So the first thing that we are going to do is cook our apples. So here I have my saucepan and I put this on medium heat, and to it I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of butter. I also have my apples. I have 2 apples and I am using Honeycrisp today because they're slightly sweeter and they're just my favorite type of apple. But you can use any apple that you like. And I like peeling them and then just slicing them. And now that our butter is melted, we can add in our apples. So to it, I'm going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg as well as a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. You can also use fresh ginger. I also have 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon going in, as well as 2 tablespoons of brown sugar just to add a little bit more sweetness. And I also like to add some vanilla bean. I cut open my vanilla bean and then I scrape it out to get these seeds. And this is just 1 small vanilla bean. But if you don't want to use vanilla beans, they are a little bit more expensive. You can just add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. But if you really want to put in that vanilla flavor, I do recommend using a vanilla bean. And now let's just give this a stir so that all the seasonings and sugar coat our apples. And we can let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes until your apples become nice and soft. Okay, and now that my apples are cooked down, we can take them off the heat. And you do want to let these cool completely before adding them into your milkshake, as well as remembering to take out that vanilla bean pod. And now it's time to take this inside and put it in the fridge to cool while we start on making our caramel sauce. Now that our apples are cooling in the fridge, we can start on our caramel sauce. Of course, you do not have to make caramel sauce from scratch, but if you feel like it and then just having some homemade caramel sauce in your fridge for other desserts, I highly recommend it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your saucepan and we're going to put this on medium heat. And to that, I'm going to add in 1 cup of just granulated sugar. There we go. And now, we're not going to add anything else. We're just going to start off with our sugar, and you're going to want to continuously mix this. And it's slowly going to caramelize. It's going to form clumps, and then those clumps are going to melt into a beautiful amber color. This can take around 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. It just depends on your stove. It's starting to get too hot and you don't want this to burn, so I'm just taking it off the heat. Now we can put this back on our heat and add in our butter. So I have 6 tablespoons of butter going in. And be careful because this is going to bubble really fast and you want to stir this a lot until the butter is completely combined. At this point, you can turn off your heat. And also be really careful when you're making this because this is incredibly hot. You can burn yourself. If you see on my arm, I have a bunch of burn scars. It is definitely from cooking. So just make sure there's no splatter or anything because you do not want to get burnt by this. Okay, now that our butter is completely combined, we can start to add in our heavy cream. And I have 1/2 cup of heavy cream and I'm going to slowly start adding this in. Again, it will bubble up a lot. I have to say, this smells so delicious. There is nothing like homemade caramel. It's so much better than the store-bought. And this color is absolutely perfect. You don't want it too dark because that's how you know it's burnt. You can also tell by the smell. But it has this beautiful golden rich color. And now that I've added my cream, I can take this off the heat. So I'm just going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now you're just going to want to transfer this to a different container and let it cool completely until using it in your milkshake recipe. Now that everything is ready, we can start to make our milkshake. So here I have 2 cups of just vanilla ice cream. Next, I can add in my cooled apples, as well as 1/2 cup of just whole milk. And last but certainly not least, our caramel sauce. And I'm going to add with a clean spoon, 3 tablespoons of our caramel sauce. And now it's time to blend it all together. For the glass, I like to put a little drizzle of caramel sauce down the sides because you can never get enough caramel. And I will say this makes 2 milkshakes or 1 if you're very hungry. And I also like to top it with some whipped cream because as you can tell, it's not decadent enough right now. So if you want to make fresh whipped cream, all you need to do is take 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Blend it together for about 2 minutes until stiff peaks form, and you have fresh whipped cream. If you feel like it, you can add a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top. And now it is my favorite part of any video. It is time to taste our creation. And I'm obviously going for the one with all the caramel sauce in it. Wow, that is so delicious. I genuinely feel like I am drinking an apple pie, caramel apple pie in a milkshake. It is so tasty. I have to stop myself. It is so good. And don't forget to check back in next week because we will be making a pumpkin spice milkshake. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.
It's that good, hey? Wow.